Now this is the basic principle. Day 21 to 24 of the previous cycle, we will start with GnRH agonist. On day 2 of the period, we will start with gonadotropins while continuing the agonist which we have started from the day 21 of previous cycle. Now we will keep on monitoring with the help of ultrasound. On day 6, we can add antagonist in an antagonist cycle, but if we have been giving agonist, then this antagonist is not given. Then HCG is given once the graphene follicles have grown up to a 22 to 23 millimeter size. After that, the oocytes are aspirated after 36 hours of HCG, and after the aspiration of oocyte, they are fertilized in the lab. The luteal phase support is given for endometrial preparation, and we are usually right now doing the day 5 embryo transfer on day 19 of the cycle. Now we start with high doses of gonadotropins, and then GnRH analog treatment prevents interference by endogenous hormones, and controlled ovarian stimulation is followed by oocyte retrieval, fertilization in laboratory, and transfer of embryos. The starting dose of follicle stimulating hormone is around 150 to 225 international units. Now this process is again the same thing. So we have to aspirate the oocytes, fertilize the oocyte, wait for the syngamy to happen, and then replace the embryo back into the uterine cavity. Now this is a picture which is showing a transvaginal ultrasound, and this is a oocyte pickup needle which has been introduced, and this is the test tube in which the oocyte is collected, because this needle is connected to the test tube which is connected to a vacuum suction pump. So the moment the suction is applied, the oocyte gets sucked from this tubing into the test tube, and this test tube is now handed over to the embryologist. Now I like to play this video of egg retrieval. Okay, so this is a ultrasound which is showing a stimulated ovaries, and these are the graphene follicles on day 14 of gonadotropins, and this follicle diameter is around 22 to 23 millimeters, and these follicles are ready to be pricked, and the fluid will contain the metaphase 2 or metaphase 1 oocyte. Okay, so this is the needle which is inserted inside the graphene follicle for aspiration of the follicle. This is same. This needle can have a single lumen or it can be a double lumen needle, and this is the tubing which goes into the suction apparatus, and through via test tube the oocyte is aspirated into this fluid. So the fluid flushing media is used is the Hippe's media. Now after this oocyte, the cumulus cells are removed, and it is held with the help of an oocyte holding pipette, and this is the sperm inside the sperm injection pipette. The polar body is placed at 12 o'clock position, and usually at 3 o'clock position the sperm is injected inside. This is the day 1 embryo, and this is the 24 hours after the ICSI. So this is showing the extruded polar body, and this is the male and the female pronucleus, and these are the nucleolar precursor bodies. So this is juxtaposed, centrally placed, and if we draw a line between male and female pronucleus, we will see that the polar body is lying in a longitudinal arrangement. So this embryo is graded as day 1 embryo with the male and female pronuclei similar size, juxtaposed, centrally placed with the longitudinal arrangement of polar body. Only thing is that the male and female pronuclei are not symmetrically arranged in this embryo. So embryo grading we'll discuss in a subsequent PowerPoint. Yeah, now this is a picture of this is a transvaginal ultrasound which is showing the uterus. This is the uterine fundus. This is the 5-layer pattern of the endometrium. This is the cervix, and this is the endocervical canal, and this is the internal os, and this is the external os. Now this is a endometrial preparation which has been done, and one catheter is used to replace the embryo 1 centimeter below the fundus of the uterus. So that is also called as a place for maximum implantation potential. Yeah, this is a ultrasound in which we are measuring the length of the endometrial cavity and the cervical canal together to find out the length of our catheter and placing the knob on the embryo transfer catheter. This is urinary bladder. This is done as a transabdominal ultrasound. So embryo transfer uses a transabdominal ultrasound and it does not require an anesthesia. This is a transabdominal ultrasound, and this is full bladder. It requires a bladder window, and this is Cusco speculum, and this is the embryo transfer catheter. This is the outer catheter, this is the inner catheter. We are showing the afterload technique. So first the outer catheter is placed and then the inner catheter is placed, and it goes 1 centimeter below the fundus of the uterus. And this is showing a day 3 embryo, the Morola stage or the Mulberry stage. This is loaded. The two embryos are loaded together, and this same tip is being magnified and showed here, and these two embryos, which are in a bubble of culture media, are being placed inside the endometrial cavity. Now this is a day 5. See, day 3 we have put the embryos. The implantation will take place on day 5. So day 5 embryo is also called as a blastocyst. Cyst means a fluid filled cavity inside the embryo, and when it comes out of the zona pellucida, it is called as hatching, and after hatching it will implant into the endometrial cavity. This is the inner cell mass which will form the baby, and this is the trophoectoderm which will form the placenta. Now there are other IVF procedures which we will be discussing one each in subsequent classes, which include assisted hatching, intracytoplasmic sperm injection, pre-implantation genetic diagnosis, egg freezing, egg donation and surrogacy. So there will be a separate lecture on all this.